Okay, let's be real. We're all busy, right? I mean, our calendars are just jam-packed, our to-do lists are a mile long, but have you ever stopped to wonder how much of all that busyness actually leads to something meaningful? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. We're talking about a really cool concept called productivity yield. It's all about how to turn that raw effort into results you can actually see and measure. And this is the question, isn't it? It's what separates that feeling of just being totally drained at the end of the day from feeling truly accomplished. You know, we pour all this time and energy, all these inputs into our work, but what are we actually getting out of it? What are the outputs? The secret here isn't about grinding harder. Nope. It's about a whole new framework that's going to completely change how you think about your work. So what is this magic framework? It's called productivity yield. Now, I know that sounds a little technical, but think of it like putting on a new pair of glasses. Suddenly, that blur of activity you call your workday comes into sharp focus. You can see exactly how your inputs, your time, your energy, all your resources, are actually turning into real, high-quality results. It's the missing link, that bridge between what you do and what you achieve. Okay, so how do we actually start using this thing? Well, it all kicks off with a super simple but absolutely critical rule. You can't improve what you don't measure. So for our first act, we're going to lay the foundation. We're building the measurement system you absolutely need before you can even think about making things better. And that foundation, it's built on three key pillars. First, we've got to establish a baseline. Second, we need to get crystal clear on our inputs and outputs. And third, we have to standardize what we call a unit of effort. Sounds a bit jargony, but stick with me. Let's break them down one by one. First up, the baseline. This is so simple, but so important. It's basically the "you are here" marker on your productivity map. It's an honest, no-fluff snapshot of where things stand right now before you try to change a single thing. Because think about it. If you don't know where you're starting, how on earth will you know if your new ideas are actually making a difference? All right, next up is the core of this whole thing, the relationship between input and output. Your inputs? That's everything you put in, your time, your money, your sheer effort. And the outputs? That's the good stuff you get out, the actual results. The game we're all playing really is to figure out how can we get more valuable output for the same amount of input, or hey, maybe even less. And pillar number 3, the unit of effort. This is all about making sure we're comparing apples to apples. I mean, you can't compare one person's big project to another person's quick task and expect it to make sense, right? So whether you decide your unit is an hour of work or a specific type of task, you need a standard. It's the only way to make fair comparisons and really see where you're getting more efficient. All right, our foundation is officially laid, solid. So now let's move on to Act 2, opening up the measurement toolkit. Now that we know what to measure, we can look at the actual tools that help us gauge how well our productivity engine is running. And trust me, this is where the numbers start to tell a really interesting story. Whoa, okay, pay close attention to this one because it's a huge deal. On one side, you've got gross yield. That's everything. The total amount of stuff you produce, the good, the bad, the stuff that needs fixing. But then, on the other side, you have net yield. This is the good stuff. This is the gold. It's what's left over after you subtract all the mistakes, the waste, the do-overs. And focusing on your net yield, that's the secret sauce that separates being just busy from being truly effective. So how do we zero in on that net yield? We need good metrics. Think of these like the dashboard on your car. You wouldn't drive without a speedometer or a fuel gauge, right? Metrics do the same for your work. They take those fuzzy feelings like, I think we're doing okay, and replace them with cold, hard data. They give you the clarity you need to spot problems, make way smarter decisions, and make sure that every ounce of effort is actually pushing you closer to what you want to achieve. Okay, on to Act 3. And honestly, this is the most important part of all, the payoff. We've built our foundation, we've got our tools, but so what? What's the whole point of measuring everything? Well, this is where we connect all that raw output to the thing that really matters, creating actual value. And that brings us to what you could call the ultimate metric, return on investment, or just return. It answers that one simple, brutal question. Was all that effort worth it? See, it's not just about how much you produce. It's about the value you get back compared to what you put in. A high return means your work isn't just busy work. It's creating a huge, positive impact. This right here, this quote just nails it. It really puts the final piece of the puzzle into place. You can be the most productive person on the planet, churning out report after report, but if none of it creates any value, if it doesn't actually move the needle on your real goals, then it's just motion without meaning. Value. That's the final test. That's what it's all about. So we've built the engine, we've measured its performance. Now it's time for the final step. And this one isn't another tool or a metric. It's bigger than that. It's a total mindset shift. This is where we stop just tinkering with the engine and we start asking if we built the right engine in the first place. And this powerful idea is called zero-based thinking. It works like this. Instead of always asking, how can we do this task a little bit better, you ask a much scarier, more powerful question. If we were starting over today, from zero, would we even be doing this at all? Whoa, it forces you to justify everything. Every meeting, every report, every process. It makes sure every single thing you do has a real purpose. It's not cutting out waste at the very source, before it even has a chance to start. So, I'm going to leave you with that exact question to chew on. Seriously, think about your own work, your team, your daily routine. If you were starting completely from scratch tomorrow, what's the one thing you would just stop doing? Answering that question honestly is maybe the biggest step you can take toward truly mastering your own productivity yield.